Hello, I want to speak about the path towards being quite proficient on brass instruments. I don't speak about being a virtuoso or somebody who plays and after 20 seconds you are in awe. Oh, no, I'm speaking about proficient. I mean quite fluent. Um, you don't sound like amateurish after 20 seconds you've been playing. Being able to listen to something and it's easy and reproduce through your instrument. Um, First of all, maybe there are people have a facility in playing brass instruments. I'm speaking about normal people. So the first thing is being consistent. Think that the trumpet is like a sport, like rather than acquisition of knowledge. So you should practice every bloody day. Okay, this first day. Let's say in a year, maybe 10 days, not in back to back, but something can come up. So every day. Obviously at the beginning it's like running. You start playing even 2 minutes, and then after a week 5 minutes, and then in a month you 15 minutes. Be gradual, otherwise you stress your lips get swollen, and it's to no avail. Okay, so be gradual and consistent. Okay, don't overdo it. Don't try to force your. Obviously, when you do something new, a little bit of forcing is in order, but a little bit. Okay, stress your lips a little bit more. Some people say they shouldn't be stressed. That's an ideal word, that are not stressed. Don't come to the point that you look yourself in the mirror and you see here, it happened to me, a circle. Okay, so the part inside the mouthpiece bulge, the parts bulge. Don't come to this point. Other thing, but you want to practice more. There is a secret. Take frequent rests. If you take frequent rest and maybe you practice 1 hour in the morning and then you start in the late afternoon, you will be alright. If you take frequent rest and you don't overdo, you're not forced to skip a day because the day after you cannot play to save your life. Okay? Mouthpieces. There are mouthpieces that have a flat surface here. Then when you are kind of sore, you use that mouthpiece that is less taxing on your lips. Okay? High pitch notes. I'm not we say acutista in Italian. I'm not somebody who plays up there, but it's something that we need to do, at least up to C with 2 ledgers, and to play with this, that C you should play D and E. I'm speaking about the note of the trumpets. Actually it's a B flat. You should be able. So it's obviously I use textbooks, I use practice books and whatever. It's very important not to do things haphazard. So every day, take your gradual, take rest, other things. There are no days you wouldn't practice. When I have a really no day, I play the trombone or the French horn. Very, very relaxing, especially the French horn. Moreover, as a side effect, in the long term, you will be able to play some tunes on the French horn, on the trombone. So it's good to have an instrument that have a bigger mouthpiece. At the beginning, it's very confusing. I can play both, but I still practice every day. That depends on the time you have on your hands. I found that the cornet is easier than the trumpet. The barycenter, mainly on the Shepherd Crook cornet, there's an American that is a little bit longer, but this is very compact. It's easier to use this, it's very close to you. And the way I see it or I hear it, I get high-pitched notes more on this than on the trumpet. But anyway, you should like the sound. But having a cornet is a good thing. As I say, it's compact, it's a sound slightly more mellow than a trumpet. Some people get high-pitched notes with mouthpiece that help. Now, I think that you should be able to get high-pitched notes on a regular mouthpiece, standard 7C. And in the long run, okay, if you find yourself in a situation where I had to pay a lot of high-pitched notes and a big band or whatever, and you get a mouthpiece for that, that's extra help. But you shouldn't cheat your way through high-pitched notes with some gizmo or thing. Or other thing, people should use not apply pressure. I have this, where is it? It doesn't work a lot on the trumpet, on the cornet. You put here and works better on a trumpet. And this thing, keep your chin a little bit further. And when you play with this, it's very, I cannot play. That's a good thing, because it means helps you play in a way that you get a lot of pressure here, but not because something close your lips, you know. If I take it off, it's much easier. In the morning, I don't know, your circulation, I don't know, I'm not a doctor, but it's more difficult. So let 1 or 2 hours pass since you woke up, okay? I obviously when I start from obviously I have a kind of facility in playing low notes because I play the trombone. That helps me a lot. So I think that I play also the C trumpet. It's very useful in some situations. This is an entry-level instrument by Thomann, and it works. So don't get so focused on a high-end instrument at the beginning. Remember this, you will discover in time that instruments you put aside because you thought that they were a piece of junk, after 5, 6, 10 years, you will realize that they play well. Much better than what you expected at the beginning, because I would say, I'm getting out on a limb, that 80% of the beauty of the sound, the quality of the sound, depends on us. Then on the mouthpiece we use, and our relationship with the mouthpiece, and then the trumpet, or the cornet, or whatever. So these are basic things, but if you apply all this very common sense, tips, you will see in the long run you will not fight with the instrument. Okay, you will fight with. You will not be at loggerheads with your instrument. You do sometimes it doesn't work. It's part of the course. This actually we attribute to you think it's the instrument. Actually it's us who cannot play the instrument. Today the trumpet doesn't play well. Yeah, today I cannot play the trumpet well. But and another thing is, sometimes, not every time, but listen to a melody, try to reproduce the melody. Try to develop musicality. You try improvising on very simple songs that have 2 chords. C, G7. At the beginning you remember the note of the chord and what scale fits the chord. Then I don't want to teach you harmony now, but you don't need to be a perfect connoisseur of the whole harmony to play on a very simple song. Not necessarily jazz. There are some country songs, or they are very catchy, and you can develop a second melody. Remember, don't try to find notes into thin air. Try to have in your ear a melodic development, melodic lines. A player like Chet Baker, who obviously was able also to zigzag along in a bop way, but for the most part he was like Bix Beiderbecke, a lyricist. No, the lyricist, somebody who writes lyrics. He was lyric rather than baroque. That's why I like lyric players. I prefer Lester Young to Coleman Hawkins. I like Coleman Hawkins, but it's very baroque. Sometimes you make virtue out of necessity, and you say, okay, I don't master the instrument well enough to do all this stuff, but I have a good sense of melody, and I can play melody. But in order to play new melodies, you have to transform what you have in your mind into what gets out your instrument. And that connection between you and the instrument happens in years. I speak about level-headed people like me, not geniuses or I don't know. I speak about common people. I'm in the middle. I'm not a blockhead. I'm not an egghead. I am quite a normal person. Okay. I'm speaking people who don't have 2 hours a day. Maybe they're 1 hour. Or sometimes I have a 30-minute. Even if you have 30 minutes, if you practice every day, you will never be a master player, but you will be able to play melodies and don't sound like shit, and don't try to do things that you're not able to do. That's why sometimes I say, oh, I like this Charlie Parker song, it's too fast, I will be panting to play it. I don't want to find the right word in English, but that's the meaning. I will be, it's not I do that effortless. There are things that we can practice in a week or 2 weeks and we can make it. We'll play them well. There are the things that takes months. Okay, it's like learning languages. You don't start and you talk about anything immediately. At the beginning, you focus on the things you can say in that language. And then you try to say other things, but it's pushing the envelope. You have to push the envelope, but not so much that you are completely out of water, so to speak. So I like the fact that these instruments force you to be disciplined, to be constant, to be self-aware, self-confident, but not overconfident. Okay? I like trumpets and brass because when they play a melody, one thing that I say at the beginning, don't buy a very expensive instrument because you don't know the instrument well enough to appreciate the difference between different models. You don't know exactly what you do. Maybe you buy an instrument with a brass bell and then you discover it's too dark for you. You like bright sound, or you like big bore, large bore instruments that are difficult at the beginning. It takes time to understand these things. If you don't play well and you tried several trumpets, they will always sound like shit. Basically because you sound like shit. If you've been playing the instrument for 4 or 5 years, you are ready to appreciate, if you've been practicing, I mean, at least 1 hour a day for every day for 4 5 years, you can appreciate the difference. So don't get discouraged. Slang languages, sometimes you don't understand, but you're moving forward. This is a pep talk because some people need, mainly with these instruments, because at the beginning, well, it doesn't play, I'm not able, I don't get high pitch notes. I've been playing this for nearly 20 years. I started very late in my life. I was before a player of woodwind instruments, clarinet, trombone. I started this when I was 40. But I don't regret. I don't regret, because I really, really like brass instruments. Thanks for watching.